You know, my number 7 tip or reflection is that the clients that have clarity over their vision and their plan seem to get better results and faster results. And I remember when I first joined Flight Centre, you know, one of the things that we had to do as an exercise was to do a little dream board, and we got, you know, hundreds of magazines in the middle of the room. All of the staff were encouraged to get a piece of cardboard and cut out what it was that they were wanting to attract in their life. And I just thought this was the most juvenile thing I had ever come across. We did it as a team because when we finished we were able to go to the bar, and so obviously our intent was not as clear as what it should have been, but do you know, every single thing on that piece of cardboard came true. And that was kind of the first inkling that I had, that when you idealise your life and you can visualise it, that actually we start to gain a lot more momentum. And so part of this process was then increased when I became a business coach and realised there's people around the world who just specialise in this process. And for me it was a journey. You know, at the beginning I found it really hazy, the vision that I had of the future, because I lacked the belief, the self-belief that I could, you know, actually bring that into form. But it didn't take me long to pick up that if I could just pick 1 or 2 things every quarter that I was focused on, and I'd give myself a reward for achieving that why wouldn't I be doing that every single week to achieve my dream life? And so I guess this reflection comes from the organisational chart of every business, is that without the owners being aligned, it's very, very challenging for whatever result we get to feel like success. And so what is our directorships, or what does an organisational chart truly look like? And I think that, you know, the critical aspect is, what is the purpose of each of the directorships? And this is one of the key things that we educate clients on really fast. Okay, is the vision and the plan for the owner is critical. And that vision isn't, well, I want to create X amount of profit for my business. It's what then? What will you do with that profit to create a life? And so, you know, the optimal situation is that couples, after doing an alignment, come up with a pretty clear 10-year plan, and they can see the benchmarks based on how old they are, what their life situation looks like, if they have children, grandchildren, where they're living, what their net worth is, how that's structured in terms of cash, property, shares, business, you know, then how many hours a week they're working in 10 years from now, optimally, what would be their goal? And what are they doing outside of that? So if they've chosen to work 15 hours a week, then what are they doing with the rest of their time? How is their health? What hobbies do they have? So there's so many indicators we get people to get really specific and clear about. And one of the things we really encourage is that the owner has a risk category that they assign to themselves, in that from all the profit that comes out of their business on a monthly basis, what percentage are they willing to put back into high risk, medium risk and low risk? And based on how much profit they're making, if they were to give 10% away to a charity, which charity would they support? And we get a tangible value that we start to look at, right, how does this feel in terms of time and money on our contribution of creating a legacy for that couple? And we find that this process fast tracks everything, because if you can connect in not just the IQ of business, because trust me, business is easy. There's 9 areas in business, it's all systemized, we know exactly the order that we need to do it, but people are challenging. And so for me, the quest has always been, how do we get people clear on their vision, clear on a plan, and then how do we encourage them each quarter to be able to revisit that? And we've tried lots of different ways, but for me the most effective is to create a vision book or a movie. In fact, Tracy's just completed a movie for me. After 10 years in business, I had to invest quite a considerable amount of time to be able to look at the next 10 years. What's my vision and plan for the next 10 years? And it's been really exciting to see that then presented back based on a movie. And so the basic one that we would encourage is a dream book. And so find yourself just a basic scrapbook, and then you number them 1 to 100. What are your goals? So what are you wanting to achieve? You cut out the pictures, so you've idealised. You can now visualise. The next most important thing is to tell the story like it already is. Act as if, I think Jack Canfield talks about. And so in your languaging, you know, when we buy that Leisure Seeker Winnebago and we're driving down to the Great Ocean Road, won't that be fun? You know, when we are, you know, in Barbados, when we go here, when we're doing this, so we're talking it, we're verbalising it, and we're affirming to ourselves that we're talking it into reality. Because then it will materialise. What we focus on gets done. And so when we're looking at our organisational chart and we have a vision and a plan, then it needs to be managed. Okay, so one of the most challenging things is once you've set a goal, is to manage the goal. And so for me, it's about what systems have I in place to manage my time, and then who are the people that are following those systems. All right, so we don't recruit people and build things around people. We systemise our business based on our vision and plan, and then we recruit the people. So who are our expert HR people that we rely on to be able to expand and to grow our business? And once we have got our plan, then we understand the systems and the people we need, and we can slot them into the different directorships. Now, if you're a solo business owner, guess what? You get to do all of these roles at different times in the week. But just make sure you have clear boundaries and you segment what the roles are. You need to be the finance director, and the finance director is basically appraised on how much profit is being made for the business and also how much cash flows in the general account. They make sure there's tax management provision, and they also manage their cash flow projections, P&Ls and balance sheets. So it's a big role. You need to put aside some time. Fridays is a great day for finance, I find. You know, one of the tips that we encourage people is then to set from your finance budget or cash flow a percentage to invest in marketing. So you report to your marketing director, who could be yourself, and tell them this is your budget for the next 90 days for marketing. Then the marketing campaign can be developed and told to the sales division to make sure their conversion rate stays at an optimal amount to be able to maximise the marketing kitty. And of any sales that are made, we top up the marketing kitty first, and then we draw profit. And so we get our business running to directorships or organisational charts. And in fact, when I was in Flight Centre, this training really set me up very, very well for business coaching, because there was nothing like it when I entered business coaching world. Everything was taught on a 9 series of business elements, and to me I had to fit them all underneath this organisational chart, because it made sense to me that if the marketing was working and we were converting sales, then we needed a team of people to execute our operations. And how we recruited those team was the HR division. So we had operations and HR, finance, marketing and sales as our key organisational chart. And so when I became a business coach, it was interesting to me that when I was trained, Brad Sugars did all of our training as an accountant, and he had deciphered 9 different areas in business. And he talks about 5 areas working in, and I recommend that you buy his book called Instant Leads and Instant Cash Flow. They're the 2 books that I would recommend highly to anybody who's starting in business and regularly do. And what he describes is that, you know, customers are a result of our lead generation and our conversion rate. Turnover is then a result of how much our customers are spending and how often they're spending. And profit is simply a result of the margin that we hold. And so when we maintain focus on those 5 areas and we have a strategy around them, then we can continue to grow our business. Simple, but not if we're not working on our business. And how we work on our business is to test and measure. And he taught me that every single number should be tested and measured across every single product line at all times. We need a system and technology to back up that testing and measuring, computer programs, systems, backups, all that type of stuff. And we need people and the education of those people to help to grow the business. And we also need a delivery and distribution model. And how we teach that in the correct order is probably one of the critical elements of getting a one-on-one coach and why it fast tracks results. But I wanted to highlight that in reflecting over 10 years how few people work an effective directorship model. And it's very, very easy. If you can spend 10 minutes per week in each directorship, you will be able to get your whole business firing on all cylinders very, very quickly. And that's why I really wanted to spend some time to not just reflect and think, yippee for me, I'm finished 10 years, but to add value, to say, how is it that some businesses get to 5 years and most don't? And then how is it that so few make it to 10 years? And what I believe, it's discipline, doing the same things, the mundane things every single year, year in and year out, and learning from the data to improve. Improve upon the systems, improve upon technology, start to put stuff up on websites, start to leverage the activity to gain your ideal target market. And so what are you doing around your organisational chart? Have you got one? Do you know your vision? Have you documented it? And can you focus on it every single day? Have you got some place where you centralise it and you focused, and so it makes it much, much easier to make decisions in your business?